Hi, everybody. I heard there would be a lot of you, so I did print out some notes just to keep myself on track. It's very nice to be here. Thank you for the invite. My name is Elyse Terry, and I'm partway through my 4th year in Brookline and my 11th year teaching overall. And actually, one of the first things that I learned when I came to work at BPS was that there was this group called the BEF. And frankly, it sounded miraculous that there's a whole organization that is dedicating to fundraising so that teachers can do cool things. And there's an organized, transparent process for allocating funds. That's unreal. I wanted in immediately, and I've been very fortunate to benefit from grants since I started work in Brookline. So I'm going to talk to you about a few of them. One grant that I was really fortunate to receive allowed me to take a course with PBL Works, which is the largest project-based organization in the country. And it really revitalized my practice to collaborate with teachers from across the country and in fact around the world. And I got to revamp a unit that was in desperate need of some spark. And what was so cool is that because of that course, I was able to design a robust unit around project-based learning that helped students connect past and present much more meaningfully and brought us into the exciting world of urban design. So all at once I had students making models of cities and talking about how to green urban spaces and how to make them more accessible. And there are a lot of metrics of success that you can use for projects. My favorite for this particular project was that the very senior social studies teacher at my school saw what I was working on. And then he said, hey, can I do that with my class too? And then he said, hey, that project worked really well and I think I'm gonna keep using it, which to get that feedback from someone so established is like, woo, every teacher's dream. So that has been a really nice moment. But it doesn't stop there because BEF Idea Lab grants have also allowed me to collaborate with teachers on my team to bring theater into my classroom, which is a long cherished dream of mine that I finally got to achieve. And that particular project came about because we were looking for a way to rebuild some community after COVID caused a lot of fractures, and we could see that our students were struggling to connect to each other. And my students from that year probably can't tell you a lot about ancient Sumeria, but they can tell you for sure about the process drama we did. That is a type of sort of structured improv. And every student that I ask about it can still tell you which part of a fictional island community they were a member of, and did they wear a green bandana or a gray bandana, and what was it like to decide as members of these island communities, you know, would they build a bridge? Immersing them in this fictional world really allowed them to work through some real world problems in a very healthy way. And it was a lot of fun, and it's become something that now is a part of our 6th grade curriculum every spring, and it's really lovely. The grant that is nearest and dearest to my heart, though, is the first one I ever got from BEF. In the fall of 2019, I noticed that my 7th graders were especially drawn to expressing themselves through art, and they were very gifted artists. And so I came to BEF with an idea that with their support, we could co-create a graphic novel that would allow them to construct a historical narrative based on all the things we'd studied during the year and really put their own stamp on it. A new friend is here. Hello. Welcome. This happens in class all the time. You're very welcome. So the BEF funding was going to help us get mentor texts and art supplies and even connect with a local publisher so that we could really have a polished final product. And we dove right in. We were making great progress. Students were starting to draft. They had come up with ideas. And then, of course, everything shut down in the spring of 2020. And I will be honest with you all, I don't have a lot of fond memories from that spring. It was quite a terrible time for all of us. But one of the absolute highlights was that we were able to keep working on this graphic novel project. Our class met virtually, and I said, we have the funds, we can keep going if we want to. Do you want to try? And they said yes. And so I got on the phone with the members of the BEF, and we started talking about how we could ship art supplies to individual student homes. And the students were on the phone with each other, talking about how they could work in tandem to get their pages done. And we did it. I can't tell you that the pages were the most beautiful thing, or at least not all of them, and they weren't maybe as high quality as they might have been if we were all together, but what was really meaningful to me was that every single student had a product, including students who did not show up to a single Zoom session for any class, who could not be reached on Canvas, who were struggling to connect, but they stayed connected to each other through this product because they were committed to the work and committed to each other. And BEF funding made that possible, right? From the pens that they used at their desks to the stamps that I put on the envelopes to mail them their books when they were done. That was all possible through BEF. And when we reflected on it, one of my students wrote, "Being able to be part of something bigger than myself makes me feel like I'm not too young to accomplish goals, and I can actually make a difference." And I don't know that all of my students felt that feeling when the project was done, but if even one student felt it, that I think is a really beautiful thing to say that we achieved during a very scary time. So obviously BEF grants have allowed me to take big creative risks in my practice, and I think that has really benefited me and my students. There's a lot of discussion right now in our communities about teacher burnout and how to prevent it, and rightly so. And as we try to figure out what helps teachers stay in this profession, my experiences with BEF suggest to me that sometimes what a teacher needs is to be able to say, hey, I have this idea. And for some supportive voices to answer back, amazing, how can we help? And so thank you to the BEF and to all the contributors here tonight for being those voices for me. It has made a tremendous difference in my time here. Thank you.